Everybody give a warm welcome to Bill.
Well, it's interesting because you talk about the school year, and it does seem like there's no break for us anymore. It's just a continuous pattern. Several years ago, it seemed like there was a little time in the middle of June to middle of July, but with the early start dates, it just seems like it's continuous pattern. So, again, thank you for having me today. I do look forward to this every year. It's always fun to come back and give you some updates. Message is a little different this year, so we'll go ahead and get started. I always like to start with the vision of the school district, which is to provide a safe, healthy, supportive environment focused on learning and committed to high academic achievement. Through the shared responsibilities of all stakeholders, students will be prepared as lifelong learners and as participating, contributing members of our dynamic and diverse community. Of course, our mission is to prepare all students for success in the 21st century. We're in the process of actually reviewing both our vision and mission statement and also our logo as we move forward. So maybe next year when I come back, we won't start with these two slides, but we do feel like, especially our mission is to prepare all students for success. It's complete, and that's what we work toward to. The last few years, like I said, the budget has been a topic of conversation, I know, not only through the school district, but throughout the state of Georgia. Just some highlights from this year. Our projected enrollments, 28,539. We are up about 100 students from where we were last year. We were about 100 students below that. I think as of Monday, we were 28,462. We are the 13th largest school district in the state. We educate approximately 1.7% of all the students in the state of Georgia. We have 1.5% of the state population. And we currently have about 3,339 employees, and approximately 60% of those are certified teachers. We talked every year about our austerity reductions. This year we still have close to $10 million in austerity reductions from the state, approximately 9.7%. Since 2003, when the austerity reductions took place, the school district has had about $134 million in reductions from their state funding. This year, our total budget is approximately $277.5 million. Of that, we have $9.4 million in grants. That is state grants and federal grants. We have $7.8 million in capital project funds. Again, these are SPLOST and DOE funded funds. We have $11.9 in debt service. That's from our SPLOST. $15.6 million, which is from school nutrition, and that's a self-funded. School nutrition is a self-funded program. And you're probably going to hear over the next few years, if you haven't already, quite a bit about the Hungry Foods Act and the way it's impacting schools and districts across the nation. If you have children in school, they've probably been telling you that the school lunches, excuse my language, suck. And the rationale behind that is because the federal government has come down and put strict guidelines on what can be served within the school day. And that does impact your federal funding. And Paulding's in a unique situation. Some of your wealthier districts can probably get by without using that federal funding. We are approximately a little over 42% free and reduced lunch. So we're right there in the middle where we need the funding to feed all of our students and to feed our students that are on the free and reduced lunch. Our general fund is approximately $221 million. And again, this is our state and locally funded. We have $103 million at the end of FY15 in bond indebtedness. That goes back to the bonds that were sold for capital projects in 2007. SPLOST 4, we'll have we collect approximately $13.7 million in FY15. And of course, SPLOST 5 was passed this past spring, which extended that special purpose local option sales tax through 2021. And I'd like to say thanks to all those people that supported that. When we look at the budget initiatives this year, reduction in furlough days, we actually have no furlough days this year for any of our staff members. That will be the first time since 2009 we have not had furlough days. We were actually able to give our employees a small cost of living increase. I think it was about 1.4%. We've reduced class size. We've added technology. Actually, right below our salaries and benefits, the most of our funding goes to technology. We've increased professional development. Over the past 4 or 5 years, we've really cut the professional development just because that was one of the areas that we had to look at cutting funds. Increased safety and security. We have added substitute nurses. We've actually increased our nurse hours so that we do have a nurse at the school for the time the students are there. We have certified athletic trainers at our high schools. We've added 3 school resource officers. Again, back in 2009, those were reduced, so we're looking at building those back. One of the interesting things that we found with Snowmageddon this past year is we had 1 4-wheel drive vehicle in the district, so we struggled getting around when we needed to, when getting to buses, stranded buses, and so forth. So we're actually in the process of purchasing another 4-wheel drive vehicle, and then we've also added video surveillance equipment to our school. Last but not least, we've started back a bus replacement cycle. Our fleet was aging. Over the last couple years, we've seen our maintenance costs and transportation continue to rise, and basically it was because of the aging of our fleet. We're in the process of getting back on that cycle, replacing 10 to 12 buses a year over the next several years. That will put our buses approximately 27% of our fleet outside the replacement cycle. If we didn't start this now, approximately 42% of our fleet would be outside the replacement cycle. Looking at a little bit further into the general fund, again, it's a total of $221 million. It's a 4.9% increase. We saw a 3.1% increase in state funding. Again, we saw a 30%, even though we still have austerity cuts, we saw a 30% increase in recovery and austerity funds, which was about $5.8 million. And then we saw a decrease in our equalization grant. Our equalization grant is basically the money that is used throughout the state to help balance equal funding for states, for counties throughout the state. Paulding is considered one of the lower wealth districts, so we receive funding from the state to help supplement that. Again, our bond millage rate, because of the SPLOST, again, the SPLOST 5 passed, will continue to be 0 through 2021. Our maintenance and operation bond millage rate will remain at 18.879. What's interesting is you see some facts there that we still have a lower $16 million of local funds collected since 2009, or 22% lower than we did in 2009. And when you look at comparable districts for FY13, we collected 34% lower local taxes than those districts. As I mentioned, since 2008, this will be the first year our students have been in a full 180-day academic calendar. The staff will work a full calendar, so I'm very excited about that. This will be the first year since 2009 that we've not had a reduction in teaching staff. I think the first year I spoke to you, I think we had cut nearly 400 staff members at that time. We continue to cut just to make ends meet during that time. We actually added some positions this year, which was positive. So the trend's starting to swing back up. And it was interesting because you could really see a different atmosphere when you walked into schools this year. There was more energy. Teachers were excited, but teachers being teachers, they finally, in the first time since 2009, have a full week of planning time. They haven't had that in several years, but they still didn't have enough time in their classrooms. Even though they have more time this year than they've had probably in 5 years, they still wanted more time getting in their classrooms and getting prepared. So that just tells you a little bit about the dedication of our staff. Over the past couple of years, I've talked to you a little bit about CRCT and our testing. And I think you can see by the test scores, especially over the last 4 years, the dedication and that we have of our staff. Since 2010, our CRT scores have continued to increase. As a district, the percent of students meeting or exceeding the standards on CRCT was higher than the state average, the state's percentage in 27 of the 30 content areas that is given. 2 of those areas we were equal, and then we were slightly below in 1. Again, these numbers have consistently grown since 2010. At that time, we were 18. We surpassed the state in 18 of those 30 content areas. Again, this year it was 27 of the 30 content areas. So over that time, where teachers are working with fewer days, fewer resources, we had not purchased textbooks since 2007, the academic achievement continued to come up. So our teachers have done an awesome job. Teachers, administrators, school staff have done an awesome job. One of the focuses over the past several years, not only increasing the number of students that were passing or meeting the standards on the CRCT, but was getting the number up of those students that were exceeding the standard on the CRCT. In 2014, the percent of students exceeding the standard was greater than the state in 22 of the 30 content areas. Again, I'm very proud of our teachers. As you've probably heard, 2014 was the last year of the CRCTs. We're moving to a Georgia Milestones, which will be it's a test that has been developed by educators and professionals alike. So what we're hearing this time next year, when I come back, I probably won't be able to give you test results because they're telling us it's probably going to be much later in the year because they want to make sure that they've really gone through those and make sure it's an equitable assessment. Also, you'll hear, and it's already starting to come out, typically when you change tests like that, you'll see a reduction in your achievements. So those are some of the things that we're preparing for. Also, the end of course test will not be given this year. So it's continuous change. We have a change in their testing. Teachers are going through a new evaluation instrument. Administrators have a new evaluation instrument. So several things they're beginning to change. Last year I talked to you about we were about to go through our accreditation process with Advanced Ed. Just wanted to go through that with you because that's one of the success stories that we feel like that we had from last year. Again, just as a reminder, accreditation is a voluntary method of quality assurance. It's basically ensuring that we're doing the things as a district and schools are doing the things that they need to do. It's an ongoing process to ensure that the schools have high standards, engage in continuous improvement, and demonstrate quality assurance through an external review. So in October, we had a staff from Advanced Ed, formerly SAC, Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, come to the district. They were there for 3 days. 2 of those members were from Georgia. The other 4 were from outside the state. They interviewed, they did 50 classroom observations, 246 interviews. That included 55 administrators, 100 teachers, 19 support staff, and 72 parents and community leaders. In their written summary, the team recognized the district with 4 power practices. And basically what they described, the power practice is something that institutes are doing very well and at a high level. The first one was the system clearly engages a systematic, systemic, inclusive, and comprehensive process for assuring high expectations for learners. Some of the feedback was the values and beliefs established in the process are shared by all and are evident by the advances in student achievement, and I think that goes back to what we were just talking about. Purpose has been communicated at such a level that all stakeholders have pervasive commitment for advancing the clear purpose and direction for student success. And the district is to be commended for the strong advancements made in student achievement through the high expectations set for learners. And I think the Powerful Practice 1 and Powerful Practice 2 really stems from the direction that we have set from the leadership team. We wanted everyone to be on the same page, working, rowing our boats in the same direction. We did not want random school improvements going on. So every school and each district department has an improvement plan that's aligned with the district plan. So we have an overall plan, and then each of the district plans aligns with that, and then each of the school improvement plans align with that. And that basically, again, is just to avoid random acts of school improvement. So the powerful practice number 2 is system ensures that each school and department engages in a systematic, inclusive, and comprehensive process to review, revise, and communicate a school purpose for student success. System leadership, school leadership, parents, teachers, and students use a common language to describe a clear, cohesive purpose for student success. Basically, the school plans are focused on student achievement. Instruction is based on regular assessment designed to meet the student needs. System expectations are clearly articulated and shared with all stakeholders. And that's been a message that we've worked on since day one, is sending the same message and everyone being together. Leadership monitors data about each school and provides feedback and direction to the district. So that feedback, we have what we call walkthroughs that go out to the schools. And it's a different group of leaders that do that, provide feedback, see what they monitor in the school. They come back, put it together, and then they go back to the principal and meet with the principal and give feedback on what they observe in the classes. The next 2 involve the Board of Education. I was very proud of our Board of Education. Mr. Chester is here. The Board of Education system leadership team exceed in their unified approach of governing the school system in order to assure effective fulfillment of their roles and responsibilities. Board participates in professional development that meets or exceeds the requirements of the state and the Georgia law. The essence of an effective school system is one which the governing body recognizes its roles and entrusts the school leadership to administer their duties while promoting the district mission. You know, you hear across the state of Georgia the school boards interfering with different practices, different things that are going on within the school. And that one of the comments from the lead of the team was he wished that all the boards understood their role and responsibilities and acted the way our Board of Education does. So it's a very big compliment to our Board of Education. The second one, again, was related to the board. The governing board ensures that leadership possesses the autonomy to meet achievement goals and to manage day-to-day operations effectively. The Board of Education consistently protects, supports, and respects the district and school leadership, allowing them to establish and complement goals for academic achievement and the ability to function on a day-to-day basis. Again, it's they're allowing the schools, they're allowing the district leadership team to do what we need to be doing. You know, basically they hire the superintendent, they set policy, and approve school improvement acts. So that's basically the role of the board. And then again, not because Mr. Chester is sitting in here, but we have an awesome board, especially when I go out and start talking to other superintendents about what's going on and the things they're dealing with their board. So we have an excellent Board of Education. Of course, you're not going to come out of an external review without some recommendations. As SACS states it, required actions. And these were no surprise to us. First was identify, implement, and evaluate non-negotiable technology instructional strategies to support curricular expectations. The second was to implement a technology plan to reduce the gap between existing technologies and the technology required for students to support the curriculum. So basically the first one was we really need to come up with a plan or strategies to support what we had in the schools. How are we going to teach the curriculum using the technology that was in place? The other, because some schools, there were some gaps. Some of the schools had purchased equipment on their own. Some had used PTA funds to purchase equipment. Is basically so that we would close that gap and be a more consistent there. A couple of things that we have done since that time. Of course, the budget helps with these things. We've hired an executive director of technology. We've hired an instructional technology coordinator. We have an instructional technology committee. Some of the other things that that have taken place this year to enhance the technology within the classrooms. We've upgraded all of our computers to Windows 7. All of our schools now have a wireless access point in the building. We've basically, our technology department has touched every computer in the district. If they did not get, for the teachers, if they did not get a new computer, they got a newer computer as we replace some of the old ones. We're in the process of developing a model classroom to implement more technology. And we're talking about technology, we're just not talking about the hardware. We're talking about how we go about using the technology to teach the curriculum. But basically develop a model classroom and again to assist teachers on how to use the technology within their lesson planning and instruction. Again, behind salaries and benefits, the highest funded item for the school district currently is technology. As I mentioned earlier, in regards to school district, it seems like education is ever changing, and I guess that's a positive thing. The past several years, we have focused on really trying to reach out to our communities and get more involvement in communities. And back, I guess in April 2013, we had our first educational summit. We had partnered with Georgia Leadership Institute for School Improvement, the Georgia Partnership for Excellence in Education, and ThinkGate. And ThinkGate is basically our data warehouse. It's where all the assessments are housed and so forth. On that day, I don't know how many of you were there, we had Dr. Steve Dolinger to come out and discuss the impact of educational economics. And it was really talking about, workforce development, job availability, the impact that schools have on the economy. Basically, the purpose of the partnership was to better equip the school district and school district leaders and increase community awareness and the support of college readiness and career preparedness for our students. As you know, over the last 4 or 5 years, we've changed from a focus on everyone should go to college to preparing students, those students that want to go to college, but also preparing those students for a place in the workforce. We have to be realistic. Every child's not going to go to college. Every child shouldn't go to college. But what we know, there are many skilled jobs out there that a student can go from high school, either go into a technical college, go to a junior college, that they can go into and have a very successful living and high earnings. So our goal was to get some feedback. The advisory board was appointed and provide guidance for the community engagement portion of the project. On the 13th, there was all types of data that was reviewed. We had a second meeting with that committee in August of 13th. They came back with all the data and developed 3 committees to complete the work of the plan. So we had the summit. We've developed an education community engagement plan, and then we've turned it over to our workforce development for our action groups. Here's a little about what this looks like. Like I said, the community committees have been formed to complete the work. There are basically 3 goals. On the left, career exploration. That's to increase and enhance opportunities outside of school for students to experience programs such as apprenticeships, job shadowing, mentoring, and other opportunities to explore post-secondary and career options. When you look at that, we think about, and I'm as guilty as anyone, students going through school thinking this is what they want to do when they get out. Well, when they get out, either plans don't work or your ideas shift or your interests shift. So we want students to have some of those experiences before they have to make that decision going into the workforce or going to school. Again, top parts, the goals, the bottom's more of an action. So for the school district, talk about field trips. And this is where we sort of look for you for help. If you have an opportunity for a student or students to visit your business or industry, we'd love to come visit if it's something that you feel appropriate. We're always looking for internships. We have students that are internship One that stands out right now is in the district attorney's office. I think he did that last year. I don't know if he actually, there was a couple of them, weren't they? Yeah, so that's been great. Job shadowing, where students just come shadow, see what's going on. We have our work-based learning program in school, and basically the work-based learning program is where students are dismissed early. They go to work, and that's part of their visit. On their own, they do their college visits. One of the things that our counselors are encouraging is that they do those college visits earlier. Don't wait till your senior year to start visiting colleges. Start your junior year so that you have an understanding and the needs of what's expected from college. Second is an increased opportunities for community involvement to enhance college and career readiness. This, again, is going back for wanting us to expand and getting the community more involved. Have a better understanding of what job opportunities are in Paulding County. We do a probe fair every year with their high schools. That's where basically you come in and set up and talk about your business. One of the new projects this year is capstone projects with the new CRCT assessment. Every high school will be having a capstone project. Many of you will know these by senior projects. I know South Paulding High School has had them for a couple of years now. North is working on them, but all of our high schools will have capstone projects due at the end of their senior year. We always need assistance in helping judge those projects. Mission Possible programs. We've had Mission Possible really for 5-6 years now. Mission Possible really begins with kindergarten. When those kindergartners step in the door, we want them to understand the expectation is that they are to graduate. A couple of programs that we do to assist with that, we basically pair them up with their high school of choice. They actually go visit the high schools. A lot of times we will partner them up with a buddy that may be a senior at the high school, kind of as a mentor, and basically just work with those students that year and give them the opportunity to go to the high school, see what it's like. But again, start talking to them about graduation. I think this group is 27. Is that right? Any of you guys know? Does that sound right? But anyway, they'll start with the class. I mean, most of them will buy their shirts. They have class of whatever on it, and that they'll begin there. College and career fairs is exactly what it sounds like. We have colleges and different groups come in, meet with the students. It's a day for them to come and learn about different activities. We have reality fairs. All of our high schools now, and I'm going to give you some dates in a few minutes. Again, this is where we can use your expertise. The reality fairs actually have done in middle school. We've moved them down to middle. Some of the middle schools are doing them, and then the high schools. But basically, set up for a day. The students go. It's real time for them. They're assigned a job. They're given a job, a salary, but then they're given all their bills. They're given different scenarios throughout. They're given, their rent, their light bill, energy bills. If they buy a new car, how all that impacts life as we know it, that they have no clue. Taxes. So, it's amazing to see these students when they get their first check. They look at it and it's nothing what they thought it would be. There's nothing there, basically. So when I say we take them through that, that's another, again, all 5 high schools will be doing that this year, and I'll have some dates. If you're interested in assisting there, that would be awesome. And again, we have advisement programs throughout for our schools. Going back up to college credit now meetings. Again, a change in education is, we have Move On When Ready. Basically, students can, if they are 16 years old and they've met all the requirements, they can move on to college. You have dual enrollment, which I think is a very positive aspect of it. Middle school students now can earn high school credit in middle school. So the college credit now meetings are meetings that are taking place at the schools, and they're taking place earlier and earlier as we go on. And last, increased communication and community awareness of college and career readiness. And basically, we've developed a community portal out of this partnership and with the portal. We hope you'll find information there that would, at some point I didn't think about pulling it up here today, but you can basically go there and click on one of the goals there, and it will give you information about them. Also, if you're interested in being a partner, volunteering, doing internships, work-based learning, that's an opportunity for you to go there and sign up. Also, once it's complete, there'll be a portal there that you can see how the district's doing in all aspects of it. It's really just another communication piece for the district. But again, it's to increase the awareness of meeting our goal for our students to be college and career readiness. I mentioned the reality fairs. Here are the dates. Again, we would love your participation, and I know there are some of you in the room that have participated in those previously. I think those that have participated, it's a great experience. You can actually sign up on the, again, back to the portal there. You see it under communication there at the bottom, or you can go to the district website and get that information.
Cliff, what is
Yes.
the
It's http // Paulding.thinkgate.com.
Thank you.
If you have a question, you can email me. You can actually find it. There's a link off the website as well. So again, we are really reaching out to the community, trying to let our students know really what is out there in regards to job opportunities for them there. We'd love to keep our kids in Paulding County. We'd like to continue to see jobs develop in Paulding County. Going back to the summit that we had back, like I said, it was in April of 2013. Honestly, it was an eye-awakening experience for us as a district. We had students there, we had business people, we had elected officials. I think we had over 90 people there. And just listening to the students about the needs of the students and the things that they didn't feel like they were getting to prepare them for the next level, whether it be a job or college. So it's been a learning process for us. We know that we can only get better if we listen to others. But as you know, community is only as strong as its education system is. And education and business all works hand in hand. So we need your support. We believe in our kids. And like I said, we're looking forward to a great 2014-15 school year. So again, thank you for having me here today. Before we go to questions, I just want to introduce our staff that's with me here today. Brian Otot. Brian is the Associate Superintendent. Steve Barnett's our Chief Financial Officer. Bonnie Cochran is the Executive Director for Elementary Operations. And then Suzanne Woolley is our Communications Director. And I will tell you, Suzanne's heard probably all of us say this over and over. We're so excited to have a Communications Director. She started with us in July, and she's already started tweeting and monitoring Facebook much more, but we really will appreciate her on those days when we're trying to deal with something and the media's trying to call us and deal with them. She has a background in media. She actually came to us from CBS 46 after staying at home with her son for a year, so we're very excited to have her. And again, I'd like to say thanks to our staff. I've got a wonderful staff to work with every day. And again, when I talk about our staff, even our extended staff out through the schools, because like I said, if you take and look at the test scores over the last 4 years, they've continued to rise. And again, that's with larger class sizes, fewer resources, and like I said, and really more support, because even at that time, we cut approximately a quarter of our central office out. So that was support that went with it as well. But again, thank you for your time today. I always enjoy coming here in August, so thank you for inviting me. I think we have our school calendar set for the next 3 years, so school starts about the same time every year. So, but again, thank you. Can I answer any questions? Yes, ma'am.
I always have one. Could you speak to the
Bonnie, can you help me out on that one?
High school,
Yeah, the higher
movement,
mathematics.
right. So as we have shifted to more rigorous coursework at the high school for math, yes, we have seen quite a dramatic drop in algebra scores, which is the 9th grade, and then going on through. But as you will notice, the longer we teach the course, the more experience we have in what the measure is going to look like and where our kids need to be prepared. Those have started coming back up. But that's a reflection of a new course and a new test, which is much more rigorous. So kids are not just having to solve the problems, they're having to show how they've solved it, they're having to show the steps in the process, explain that. So that's a function, the drop is a function of both of those things. And that's what Mr. Cole was saying, we need to anticipate that kind of drop really as we move to milestones, 3rd through 10th grade now, because all of our tests are going to require the kids explain their answers, not just math, but also in reading and social studies and all coursework.
And that's one of the biggest differences in CRCT. The Georgia milestones is going to require some written responses. It's not all just multiple choice. So again, that will add to it. Okay, again, thank you very much.